Good morning. So this is the fourth lecture on module theory, and I shall be introducing the concept of primitive elements in this lecture. Give you the definition, some examples and a lemma that will be useful for the big theorem, which we shall be doing in the next lecture. So let's see what is a primitive element. So if M is an R module, then an element X which is non-zero and torsion free in M is called primitive if whenever we write X equal to Ry, where R belongs to R and Y is in M, then this element R is invertible, that is a unit in R. So if you look in this first example, when I take this R to be a division ring has the property that every non-zero element is invertible. So if X belongs to M and you write it like this, then because X is non-zero, this R is also non-zero and therefore is invertible. So division ring is a ring such that any module over it, any element of the module is always primitive. In the second example, we consider the Z module Q. Q is the module of rational numbers and Z is integers. Now if I take any element P by Q, then I can write it as P by Q as 2 into P by 2Q. Now this shows that this element 2 we know is not a unit in Z, and therefore this element is not primitive. So because this P by Q is arbitrary, so Z module Q has no primitive elements. So we have in these two examples, we have in the first one there is a division ring in which every non-zero element is primitive, and in the second which has no primitive elements. In this third example, when we consider an R module R, that is a ring considered as a module over itself, we will show that an element is primitive if and only if it is a unit in R. So the proof goes like this. One way, if X is primitive, then we write X as X into 1, and then this shows that this X is a unit in R. Conversely, if X is a unit and we write X as x1y, then because X is unit, so X inverse exists. I post multiply this by X inverse on both the sides. I'll get 1 equal to X inverse, Y X inverse. This X inverse into Y X inverse is 1, and therefore X1 becomes a unit. So if X is a unit and written as this, then this element is also invertible, and so X is primitive. Now we shall be doing this lemma, which says that if the ring is a principal ideal domain and M is a free R module with this as a basis, then two things. One, if X equal to summation Ri xi is primitive, if and only if the GCDs of all Ri's is 1, and two, that if Y is Si xi summation is a non-zero element and Ry is the GCD of these elements Si's, then I can write Y as Ry times Y dash, and this Y dash becomes primitive in M. So look at the proof. Recall that an element D is GCD of a set like this if D divides every Ri, and if there is a C which also divides every Ri, then that C should divide D. Another thing which you must recall here is that the GCDs in a PID are unique up to multiplication by a unit, which means that if some X is the GCD, then a unit times X, Ux, is also a GCD. So we have to show that the GCD is 1. So it is equivalent to showing that this GCD turns out to be a unit, because if the GCD is D, then there exists D dash such that D dash is 1. So if D is a unit and is a GCD, then 1 also becomes the GCD. So we show here, let D be the GCD of these Ri's. This shows that D divides Ri, and so Ri is equal to D times Si, where Si are elements in R. So we put this Ri equal to DSi in here. which I've done here. X equal to summation I in I Ri xi. Put Ri equal to dsi. This is d summation si xi inside. So what I am seeing here, that this becomes an element in M. This is x. Because x is primitive, so x is equal to d times another element. This shows that d becomes a unit in R, and therefore this d is as good as 1. Conversely, if x equals say y, then we write this y as a linear combination of its basis elements as y equal to summation I in I si xi. We have that, look here, x is Ri xi is equal to a si xi, and then this shows by uniqueness of expansion of elements in terms of its basis elements. This Ri equals asi for every I, and therefore a divides Ri. If a divides Ri, then a will also divide its GCD, which is 1. So a divides 1, and this will mean that there exists an element b such that 1 equals ab. So this a becomes a unit in R. So if x is equal to ay, then a is a unit, and so x is a primitive element. So this completes the proof of the first part. To prove the second part, if y is si xi is a non-zero element and ry is the GCD, then we can write, always we can write, because this si will be ry times something. So this ry, the GCD will come out, and there will be a new element y dash which will be there. So y is equal to this. But this y dash will have the property that the GCD of its elements will be 1. And because the GCD of the coefficients of y dash is 1, this y dash will be primitive in M. So this is the proof of the second part. And in the next lecture, I shall be proving a theorem which is based on this, and which will be saying that given a primitive element, we can have a basis which contains that primitive element. That will be in the second lecture.